how difficult this can be, especially when there are so many other activities to balance with academics. The class valedictorian is the student with the highest cumulative grade point average in the class. This year's valedictorian exemplifies the balance between academics and extracurriculars and has participated in track, was captain of the math team, and served as a representative to the school committee for 2 years. I am so pleased to present the class of 2018's valedictorian, Christopher Bossi.
Dr. Smith, Mr. Metropolis, Ms. Traficante, Dr. DeMarco, Mr. Beebe, teachers and faculty, parents and guests, and most of all, the class of 2018. We made it! Let's just take a minute to let that sink in. Alright now, show of hands. Who here has watched Phineas and Ferb? Of course. It's one of the greatest cartoons of our generation, and I think it's only fitting that we should conclude our 13 years of public schooling with a reflection on the boys who made the most of every day of their summer vacation. To those of you who kept your hands down, I don't want to keep you in the dark, so let me just sum the show up by saying that Phineas and Ferb, two vaguely elementary school-aged boys, spent every day of their summer vacation building some crazy contraption or another to have a great time with their friends. Their sister, who's always trying to prove to their mom that the boys build crazy things, invariably comes home to find that the contraption has mysteriously disappeared and not in the boys' hands. I'd say it's the most influential cartoon since SpongeBob, and that's saying something. But one thing that never really struck me about the show until I watched its first episode, because you know how it is with cartoons, I never watched them in order, is how much character development Phineas gets over the course of the show. I mean, it's not a ton in the grand scheme of things, but it's an oddly large amount for the 10-year-old star of a cartoon. I mean, everybody thinks of Phineas as that super optimistic, bright kid who never runs out of ideas for crazy gadgets that'll make the day and sometimes save it for his friends. But in the pilot, Phineas isn't quite like that. In the pilot, you could almost mistake Phineas for a brat, but that would be a big mistake. He's just sitting under a tree, complaining about how boring summer is to Ferb and his pet platypus, and while he's ranting, he decries the State Fair roller coaster to his silent stepbrother and pet. Nothing really seems out of the ordinary until Phineas begins to shout in frustration. Man, that was lame! Why, if I built a roller coaster, I would... And then it strikes him like lightning out of the clear blue sky. Why not build the roller coaster? He doesn't let the why not stop him, or let it pass as a random musing. Instead, he gets to work with his brother. And before the end of the morning, he has a roller coaster that towers over the town. Now, obviously, we don't live in a cartoon world. If I went out into my backyard and started literally building a roller coaster after these ceremonies, I would either run out of cash before sunset or do a visit from the zoning board come Monday. But Phineas is also a 10-year-old boy with hardly any world experience, whose only goal is to have a good day. We've had plenty of great days over the last 4 years. Heck, we've had plenty of great days over the last week alone, and they're probably the ones we'll remember the most. But we'd have other kinds of days over the last 4 years too, just like anyone else. Tired days, anxious days, checked out days, just flat out weird days if the recent popularity of citrus fruits at this school is any indicator. And yet, here we are. We're all graduating. We don't seem to be much worse for the wear. And I know this is technically true every day, but these words will never ring more true. Today is the first day of the rest of our lives. So what on earth does all of that have to do with a roller coaster? I'd say it has to do with the attitude we bring to life as we leave this place. Most of us will be going on to college. Some of us will be headed straight to our careers or joining the military. One of us here got a combo deal. But our days of state-mandated education have quickly drawn to a close, whatever follows them. And without our parents, or our teachers, or other grown-ups, and I do say grown-ups instead of adults, because 3/4 of us here are adults now, but I don't think any of us are grown-ups. Without those grown-ups looking over our shoulders, we're going to have to make some decisions about how we're going to approach this world we're entering. And I mean, Kai is right, we're already doing great things, and as we spread our wings, so to speak, we're going to be able to do even more. But we're also going to have to face some tough times, and struggle with tasks that will cause that we'll have to struggle to get through. And so the question I want to ask all of you is, what attitude are you going to bring? We'll inevitably face difficult and unfair scenarios and things in life. And to complain is human. I'm no different than the rest of you. But as much as complaining can be cathartic, it's not what we were put on this earth to do. And every circumstance, every scenario, every day in your life you'll ever encounter can ultimately be broken down into two things, the two parts. The parts you can't affect, and the parts you can. And some of the most brilliant and compassionate displays of the best humanity has to offer have come when, even when every roller coaster in sight is a joke, people have managed to look past the jokes, to get the big wheels turning in their head, and decide to build the roller coaster that will tower over the town. Now, I'm as familiar with the quirks and foibles of this class as anyone. I also know what we're capable of. I've seen my friends ace tests they were sure they would fail. I've seen the Red Sea stand in the pouring rain to cheer on the Warrior football team, even when no one remembered the umbrella. I've seen our class march into 2 proms to remember that were built in a cave with a box of scraps. I've seen kids who haven't taken a music class since 8th grade walk into band hall for crying out loud. I'm not going to pretend that our attitude towards life is the only or the largest obstacle we'll face in our journey. But I can almost guarantee that it will be the most constant one, and also the one over which we have the most power. So when the sun is beating down and we don't know where we're going to go next, let's see the roller coaster. Then let's build it. And if there's anything that this new engineering class this year has taught me, it's that machines don't always come out the way you originally designed them. You can vouch for me on that one, right, Matt? And so, that roller coaster you envision in your mind's eye might not be exactly the same as the one you drive the last nail into. That one might not even be a roller coaster at all, it might be something else. But that's still so much better than sitting there at the end of the day, still complaining about that bad roller coaster you rode. Because, I mean, so really it's kind of ironic, because that title that they've typed next to my name in the program, Valedictorian, that means one who says farewell. But despite the value of all which we're saying goodbye to, which is undoubtedly large beyond expression, I want to focus on what we're saying hello to. Because we are the face of the new millennium, and we're going to set the world on fire! Believe me, folks. And so, I'd like to say, I'd like to wish the best of luck and blessings to you all. And as we move on from this place, let's remember that what Phineas and Ferb's 104 days of summer vacation are to them, an opportunity to do something new and amazing every day. That is what we have ahead of us. So let's make the most of the summer that's the rest of our lives.